8. The contestants consisted of Isha Sohail, Dan Oxman, Tim Cho. Isha goes to UCLA. That was one of my dream schools. That kind of hurts to see. Dan looks so different. Styling his hair differently or growing facial hair definitely makes him look more different than any other contestant in the tournament. Tim Cho's from Columbia. After thanking Johnny Gilbert, my instruction was, and welcome back to the high school reunion tournament. In yesterday's game, it was Lucas Minor who advanced to the semifinals with a final score of $25,201, the highest total we've seen so far in the competition. Today we welcome back Tim, Dan, and Isha. I didn't notice that was the highest score. The last category was unions. The more I see this, the more I wonder how much harder the Jeopardy clue crew had to work to find clues that would fit a reunion, or in this case, a union category. Once the questions were selected, they were just couples in history. Those count as unions? In 2017, Jake Gyllenhaal connected the dots as Surratt in a revival of this musical. I felt bad for Tim. He buzzed and answered, "What is Sunday at the Park with George?" which is incorrect. Then when no one else buzzed in, the answer was actually, "What is Sunday in the Park with George?" Surratt was also the answer in the final Jeopardy round in Game 2 of the Professor's Tournament Final. Tim got the first daily double. He made it a true daily double, got it right, and went to $6,000 even. As the mini anecdotal interview began, Mayim described Isha as a fellow Bruin. Mayim went to UCLA, didn't she? Yup, she did. I won't be able to see her hosting the same way again. When she got to Dan, Mayim exclaimed, "I don't really want to talk about what we're going to talk about, but apparently I was your celebrity crush growing up." Technically, she didn't have to talk about it. There were 2 other anecdote choices to select from. And yes, I know why she did it. But this should be interesting. Dan answered, "This was a long time ago, Mayim, but you know, when I was a little kid, I saw you on TV and I really admired how you played. Like a super awesome scientist, and then I found out that you were a scientist with a doctor in real life, and I was just..." So my script says mind blown. I'll just show you the clip. Sorry, I had to include the clip because I couldn't recreate the sound, especially when I don't even show my face. Dan continued, "And you haven't aged a day." Nah, it doesn't make as much... Nah, it doesn't make as much sense when I actually say it. Mayim told him, "Thank you, I will take that and move on." So the other day when Isabella Pagano said, not to make Ken Jennings feel old because she was born during his 2004 run, here we have the opposite where Dan said Mayim hasn't aged a day. Tim's anecdote was his double whip going viral, which I didn't really think much of. There's still Christmas questions, and nobody got this one. Alright, let's go over it. This loud disturbance arose out on the lawn in "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." What is a clatter? This poet was already married when he took up with Mary Wollstonecraft Godwin. The pair produced a lot of lit and some kids. The answer was Percy Bysshe Shelley, and I'm currently reading Frankenstein, so that's appropriate. There's a guess in the category.
Hi, I'm Constance Wu. In this 2018 film, I played Rachel Chu, who discovers all of a sudden that her boyfriend is super wealthy and one of Singapore's most eligible bachelors.
There's a second guess in the category.
In a 2021 Marvel film, I play Shang-Chi, who helps his family as a master of this Chinese martial art whose name translates as skill.
Michel Tournier's first novel reimagines Robinson Crusoe as a colonialist king failing to bring the Spanish to sharing his worldview. The answer was Who is Friday? Robinson Crusoe came up the game rail on Lost. He came up on Chris Panilla's 14th game when he won $71,821. And he came up on the back-to-back true daily doubles Erica Hasegawa in Game 5 of the Tournament Champions quarterfinals. It's a test signal sent from a computer to check network speed. After Dan Buzzer answered, "What is a ping?" Mayim said, "Ping," to tell me he's correct. Turd Ferguson actually came up as one of the questions, which I didn't imagine happening. Tim ended single Jeopardy winning $10,600. Isha was in second place at $3,000 even, and Dan was in third place at $2,400. The last category in Double Jeopardy was Reunion, which looks like a response to the Union category. Originally released in 1977, Dreams from this band's album Rumors was on the Billboard charts in 2020. The answer was What is Fleetwood Mac? Stevie Nicks of Fleetwood Mac came up on Final Jeopardy the week of the season 38 finale. I also wonder what happened in 2020 for Dreams to have been on the Billboard charts that year. He got both daily doubles. Tim got the first daily double in Double Jeopardy. He raised $3,000. Unfortunately, answered wrong and went down to $12,800. Dan got the second daily double in Double Jeopardy. Raised $3,500. Let's just take a look at the question. Tradition says that a couple who kisses while passing beneath this Venetian bridge in a gondola will enjoy eternal love. Couldn't be me. After Dan answered, "What is the bridge of destiny? I don't know." Mayim told him, "No, what is the bridge of sighs, which you were doing as you were thinking of it, and I thought you were going to get it." The audience laughed. That brought Dan's score down to $3,300. As I was looking at my notes, I was confused as to why sighs was added since it wasn't in the question at all, nor did Dan sigh as he got the daily double. Tim ended Double Jeopardy winning $20,000 even. Isha was in second place at $9,400, and Dan was in third place at $1,700. The final Jeopardy category was laws in U.S. history. The question was, a radical Republican championed this 1875 act, but the Supreme Court struck it down in 1883. A new version of it was passed 81 years later. 81 years after 1883 was 1964. It's a Civil Rights Act. The answer was a Civil Rights Act. That is correct. That radical Republican was Senator Charles Sumner of Massachusetts. He died before its passage, but the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is still the law of the land. Isha and Tim answered correctly. Isha gave her brother a shout out and wagered $1,117. I wonder if that's her birthday or something. Her final score is $10,517. Tim didn't wager anything, leaving his score at $20,000 even, and is now. And as always, thank you for watching.